again, to read the finance, the public finance, the finance ordinance of the Turks and Caicos Islands. And I am beginning to wonder if the Minister of Finance or anybody in this administration ever pick up the finance ordinance of this country and read it and see what the guidelines say about how the finances of this country ought to be run. Because you asked a very important question. How is monies getting into our treasury and we don't know about it?
Well, Mr. Malcolm, the whole thing seems to be shady. When we look at the hospital and the loan situation, there are so many unanswered questions. But before we go into that, let me just make a point here. You notice when I was talking about all this land in West Caicos,
sure,
that the Belize Bank was the one that had provided the money.
Belize Bank.
And also with some of the other land mentioned, the Belize Bank had given guarantees to government that monies would be forthcoming to secure the development, so that government would give this land out.
Okay.
And it seems that the Belize Bank is intricately entwined with the finances and the economy of this government. And in fact, the statement was made somewhere that the Belize Bank owns the Turks and Caicos.
Owns the Turks
and Caicos. And this is just one small example, and it's frightening. It's frightening, and just when, if you notice the last public meeting that I had, I brought out a few points regarding that. And then, strangely enough, just a few days ago, we had a press release that came out of Belize by the new premier or prime minister of Belize.
Yes, government change over there.
The government changed. And some interesting, and if I may say, exciting things are being exposed. And one of these such issues, again, which bank do you think is inside of it?
I hope not Belize Bank, Turks and Caicos.
Well, the Belize Bank in Belize and the Belize Bank in Turks and Caicos is intricately involved. But let me just progress to the hospital thing, but give you a little insight. On Friday, March the 7th, 2008, the Prime Minister of Belize, the Honorable Dean Barrow, described as outrageous and absolutely reprehensible the admission by former Prime Minister Said Musa that he had used $10 million from the Venezuelan grant of $20 million to settle a government guarantee with the Belize Bank. Okay, that sounds okay until we get into it. But the same reprehensive and outrageous act is apparently about to be inflicted on the people of the Turks and Caicos right before our eyes. As they're being hoodwinked with the apparent collusion of the governor of the Turks and Caicos, with the governor involved and willingly consenting to and approving these unconventional acts, with his signature to the land and the bank documents that makes this secretive deal regarding our hospital loans. That is, it appears to be a deal that makes us, the Turks and Caicos people, liable and responsible for an onerous financial burden of some $235 million without telling us. I mean, the Minister of Finance, the Premier, the Minister of Health, nobody has stepped forward, addressed this nation, sensitized this nation to, first of all, the extent of the hospital's development.
Correct.
Right? The amount of loan that they are committing our people to. They have not told us that. And I have to give you credit because of your investigative prowess. You've been able to uncover a lot of this information for the general public. Congratulations, Mr. Malcolm.
Well, thank you, Honorable Skipper.
Secondly, what are the full detailed arrangements and condition of the loan? You know, to date, as you stated earlier, no one knows the interest rates. Now, the implications of that can be, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that the government in Jamaica changed, was it last year sometime?
Yes.
And what was uncovered is that in some cases, the interest rate for certain loans were up to 40%.
40%?
Yes.
That's huge.
We are in a situation now where this government is telling us nothing about the loan. They haven't even told us what the amounts were, much less what the interest rates are. And the Premier has been on public media a few months ago, stating a couple of months ago, whatever time it was, that we would be taxed. And of course we're going to be taxed through the nose to pay for this hospital.
Correct.
These hospitals. Now, in addition to that, the government, it appears the government does not own or will not own the hospitals. Mr. Malcolm, why is it that the government would borrow 235 million, or if they want to say 124, let's say 124, because they haven't explained anything to us, so we don't know.
The country is still in the dark.
Right, we're still, I'm never in the dark, trust me, I'm a man of light. But why is it that this country would put itself and its citizens in such a huge debt to pay for, sponsor hospitals that is not owned by the country?
Not owned.
And the thing about it, the name of the company that is stipulated in the loan, in the loan agreement, is, and you can help me with that, Interhealth
Canada Infrastructure TCI Limited.
And when you go to the land registry to find out who this company is, who are the principals, who owns this company, right? You come up with simply a subscriber, and with the only shares being issued, one share being issued to Caribbean Management Services, which is a company, which is a private entity, right? A private entity. A private entity. Now you don't, and then this company is a trustee nominee shareholder company, which means it's a company that holds shares
for somebody else.
Right. So why is it, Mr. Malcolm, that we have to go? We are borrowing money for private sector, and we can't know who we are borrowing it for. We can't know how much we are borrowing. We can't know the terms of the borrowing. We can't know who. After all this is over and done with, and we're paying tax for the rest of our lives, and the hospital is end up owned by people who we don't even know. I mean, is it being owned by the Premier? Is it being owned by the Premier cohorts? Who is it being owned by? Why is it everything about this government shady? Why is all this land in a shady deal? You can't find out who owns it. Why you can't find out who owns the hospital and you have to pay for it? Is this a democracy or not?
The governor said there's no corruption here, Honorable Skipper.
Did he say that?
He said there's none.
And the governor